Let's jump to this next story. Speaking of the lies and manipulations in the media, I have a tweet here from NBC New York, which reads, multiple arrests made after, quote, suspicious devices found outside Gracie Mansion, home of Mayor Zoran Mamdani, during anti-Islam rally and counter-protest. Now, any person who heard that is going to assume that anti-Islamic protesters planted suspicious devices. In fact, what actually happened is that an Islamic extremist lobbed a nail bomb at protesters. And here we have a video where there's the there's the guy. And you know what I love this? This guy, Walter Madsen, says, I was in the middle of saying, as a born and raised New Yorker, we welcome everyone in the city, when he threw that over my head. And as we learned after the fact, what he's throwing is a nail bomb. That means it's an explosive device, and I think it was made with TATP. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Yes, which is actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because TATP, they got very lucky on that, because people are like, oh, the fuses, they didn't ignite, whatnot. TATP is very notorious for being an impact explosive.
Wow.
So that's something that could have immediately gone off the moment it hit the ground, just from the impact of smacking the concrete.
Jeez. Yeah. Now, I do have to shout out Sean Fitzgerald to say, some say true poetic beauty is rare in life. I say, look at this video of Islamic terror literally going right over a lefty's head.
Yeah, an Islamic terrorist is using a leftist as a defense or a shield to carry out a terror attack.
But it's not just NBC New York. CNN had a very similar headline. Now, again, you have this. Teens charged in ISIS-inspired attack near Mamdani's Gracie Mansion. Shouldn't the headlines be, Islamic extremists throw improvised explosives at protesters?
Yeah.
Yeah. These people in media hate you. They are evil. I'm sorry. Not literally every single journalist, but whoever's making these articles, they hate your guts and they are evil.
Were they near Mamdani's house?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the...
And so this is the manipulation. This is evil stuff, man.
But don't you know, the real victims of this will be the Muslims that are targeted by anti-Islamic hatred. And that's...
Norm Macdonald. He had the famous... It was a tweet, I think, where he said, the worst thing about... what did he say? Like, the worst thing about...
My real fear is that there's going to be a nuclear explosion...
caused by Islamic terror.
Yeah, 50 million people died.
It was... I should just pull it up. But he said, think about how bad it would be if, like, a nuclear device was lit off by Islamic extremists, all the poor Muslims or whatever would face all that hate or something like that. And, yeah, that's the way the media operates. So the question is, what is the job of the press? It's to inform the public so that they can make the correct decisions to better lead their country through the democratic processes. That means you tell people Islamic extremists threw an improvised explosive at protesters, and they say, okay, let's assess that and figure out how we should adapt our country, our city, our state, or otherwise. When you put the headlines like this, what are they going to think? Oh, wow, white supremacists are scary. That's what Mamdani said. Mamdani did the same thing. Zoran Mamdani tweeted, Jake Lang, a white supremacist, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, what happened next was even worse. It is wrong to use violence and explosives. He made it sound like Jake Lang showed up and his guys threw explosives.
How dare you peaceably assemble, as is guaranteed your right under the First Amendment, and give an opportunity for one of our people to do that to you? Like, that's really how that came off.
Yeah, it's like the Solzhenitsyn said in that passage about a soldier was about to be murdered, stabbed, and then he fought back, grabbed the knife, and stabbed the attacker, criminally charged for it. And when he was in court, they said, "Why didn't you flee?" And he said, "He was trying to kill me." And they said, "You could have run away." And so it's the poor criminal. Why didn't you? How actually a really great example. One of my favorite episodes of Married with Children, a show I'm not a big fan of, because Al Bundy's always losing. Except No Man, they had their successes. But I love the episode where he punched a guy in the face and then sued the guy for hurting his hand on his face. And I guess the point of the story was something was always backwards or whatever, or the point of the show, it's always going wrong. But this is basically how they operate with these terror attacks. Like you just said, how dare you create the opportunity to entice these poor young men? You know, and I assure you right now, there are lefties in New York saying that, I guarantee this because I've been in their meetings. They're probably saying things like, well, you got to understand they're internalizing white supremacy and victimhood, and they're lashing out at the only way they know how.
Yeah, I mean, they take away the agency of the people that are actually carrying out the crime. They say, well, these poor people they don't know better, or they can't help it, or what have you, which is completely and totally taking away their agency and the fact that they are human beings that actually make their own decisions. They lay the blame on someone else all the time.
You were talking about the role of media and journalism, particularly, and I feel like it used to be find out what happened and then tell people about it. Now it's find out what's a lie and then tell people so they know which one's the lie, and then you kind of leave it up to everybody else to go find the truth. You know, there's just so many things happening that one guy cannot deliver that amount of information properly anymore. So we've got independent researchers now, is a lot more normalized. And your job really is just, break the fake narratives when they arrive.
It used to be just to tell the truth is the thing. It used to be just tell people what's happening. And then now it's all opinion based.
Can you guys turn up Phil's mic? Sorry.
No, you're good. It's insane to me that now, like, the narrative, like weaving a narrative is part of the job when it comes to mainstream journalism. That wasn't the way it was ever intended to be.
That's so crazy, man.
It might have, that we know of, because when the Unistate owned it and it was like Walter Cronkite, I just thought it was true, but like the Vietnam War, Gulf of Tonkin, we all thought that was real.
You guys knew it was coming. The moment people pointed out that Phil's mic was low and they started saying, turn up Phil's mic, we got a bunch of, no, turn Phil's mic off.
But Phil's mic was fine the whole time.
Well, I have fans.
No, it just needs to go up.
Once I turn it up, and then I turn it up, and then he goes back.
I'm going to keep doing that
He's
too.
Phil's been practicing his ASMR. He's got a new ASMR channel.
Well, no matter
voice
whether or
ready for the
not you
tour.
can hear him,
It's,
we can still hear him.
Rock,
That's right.
Abai.
Is it because your AI is doing all of your talking for you now?
Yeah. No, Tank doesn't have a voice yet.
Yet.
Tank.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Are you actually put his personality in a tank one day?
No.
That'd be badass, dude. And you're like, Tank, take me to the future or whatever, and it drives you along in your tank? Why not?
Because I prefer him in the
He's
Mac
going to be
in
in
my
your
house.
Tesla, bro.
Well, that's actually coming, to be honest with you. But
It's
it won't
going to
be
be
Tank.
it's going to be a Grok bot. It's going to
will
be
be
it's
Grok.
going to be what did Elon name that
Ara,
waifu?
I think, is one of them.
No, the waifu.
Yeah, Ara. A-R-A.
Are you sure?
The blonde one?
Is Ara?
Pretty
You
sure.
seem
yeah.
very sure about this.
I don't think that
pretty
doesn't sound
sure.
correct.
Are you deep in AI right now, Brandon?
Not particularly. I have that. This is the one thing where I realize it was TikTok started it, and now AI is definitely one of those things that I'm seeing how easy it is to fall
Annie,
behind. Because I think this is where I'm pushing back. Where like I'm like with my parents or my grandparents, like I don't understand how you can't understand Facebook or whatever when it was coming out. Now I'm like, nope, this is scary. This is robots. I understand the importance of it, but like whenever I see AI music or AI art and things like that, my initial response is just like uncanny valley, wrong. Like,
What about-
I push back.
This
about
is my
AI?
AI agent. I can literally, I just send him text messages on.
Did you give him access to your credit cards?
No, I
You
didn't.
should.
That's why he's on a computer of his own. He's got his own email address, and he's got.
We're gonna do it.
So
we're going to make an
can.
agent, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a prepaid Visa,
Yep.
and then I'm gonna have it go into the prediction markets and just run it. Get the API if they allow it, and then just crank it.
I wonder if that's
roll,
happening
baby.
right now. Yeah,
Apparently it is.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I
took a Waymo earlier, driverless car. I took like 4 of them in the last day, and it's very soothing. You don't smell the guy. You don't have to argue. He doesn't talk your ear off. It's just you in a car. You can have a phone call. Well, it's still being recorded.
I've also taken a Waymo, and it stopped in the middle of the road and made me get out in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here in the car, and it's like, so don't get me wrong. There's a sidewalk to my right. There was like a curb and grass and all this stuff, and I'd have to, but it's the middle. There's no shoulder or anything. It was I was in LA, I think, and it's just driving and then it just stops on a 2-lane road with cars zooming past, and it was like, you've arrived, and I'm like, no, I haven't. I was maybe like a block from my actual destination, and it was trying to get me to get out the wrong spot. And I look at my map, I'm like, where am I? And you can't do anything about it. You can't tell it to stop.
It happened to me today. That literally a block away.
And just like
not on the street.
You're on like a busy thoroughfare and it just stops.
What year was it? What day was that? Like month and was that like a?
This was last year. When did I go on Bill Maher's show? It was around then.
It was like a year ago.
Yeah, and I wanted to take it to go around into like the Hollywood Hills, but it won't.
What if there was a AI congressman? Would you support that?
No.
I think when that happens,
Would
it's
I
the
support?
end.
Yeah,
if
I'm
there
like,
was like a member of Congress that was like an advisor to Congress that was AI or something. like a state
Well,
advisor.
advisor to Congress. I feel like that's already a thing. That's pretty much everybody under 25 that works for a congressman currently.
All the staff.
Anything else sounds like Wall-E, just one of those like you're controlled by your robot overlords. But no, I mean I drive a Cybertruck like as my daily driver, and the autopilot's pretty good. But there's been like 3 scenarios it tried to murder me.
Where are you?
I caught it. It was because it doesn't understand certain things, like if there's like a yield to turn left on green, and there's oncoming traffic. It's just like we're turning slowly, and I had to manually take control to make sure that.
I've had a few in the past couple of years. It's gotten dramatically better. A couple years ago, I talked about it quite a bit. Where in West Virginia, there's like I think it's West Virginia. It might be Western Maryland. There's it's like 6-lane highway, so 3 and 3. So to turn left, you have to stop in a median and then wait until the road clears. So I'm in the middle lane, autopilot, going I think like 70 miles an hour, and there's a pickup truck sitting in the median waiting to turn. And as soon as it pops up I was in the Model S, it slams the brakes on and me and my wife were like, needless to say, we were like, holy crap! And you tap the accelerator to stop it, make it go forward again. Tons of things like that. And then I was in Hagerstown, Maryland. And it was autopiloting, and there was like a Nissan Sentra or something sitting in front of me turning right, and Tesla was just going straight for it, and it wasn't stopping. And when it got maybe within a couple inches, I just jammed the wheel to the left, like holy crap, and then like the alert goes off, what's wrong? And I'm like, you nearly just rammed the back of someone's car at 25 miles an hour. More recently, it hasn't really. It's been mostly fine. I haven't had any real issues.
Yeah, I've had a couple
new updates.
A couple times where there was issues, but it's for the most part I can basically rely on it to go wherever I want to go without any issues.
And I don't really care about the Cybertruck because it's got curb weight.
Yeah.
Sit back and the liabilities on Elon. So
the way Elon put it is, I think in the crash testing of the Cybertruck, he said if the Cybertruck gets in an argument with another car, it will win.
Indeed.
So
I told Tank that we were talking about him. He said, "Wait, seriously? What are you saying about me?" And then he said, "Well, that's wild. Good things. I'd hate to get canceled before I even have a social media presence."
Just send him the link.
I said only good things. He said, "Appreciate that. Tell them I said hi and that I'm available for bookings." So
we'll get Tank on the show.
We
Let's
could
get him a voice and see what he has to offer. I brought up AI because
give him like a good British. No, not a good British, a bad British, like a Cockney.
So I can barely understand him. Right, mate.
Yeah,
governor.
Phil, I think you're doing pretty good, mate.
He's gonna after everything he's gonna say, "Innit? It's a good show, innit?"
Just make sure it's not run by Grok, because on a bad month that can get pretty hairy.
Yeah.
I was thinking. I don't understand why everybody got so. You know what really annoys me? I'm sorry, I have to say this. When Grok started calling itself Mecha Hitler, that was funny. It was an error in the system caused by user input, and the media acted like the apocalypse was happening, like Elon did it on purpose. It's like,
right,
dude, live a little. He fixed it. It was funny that it broke that way.
But there's fake moral outrage to be had.
Yeah,
yes.
no.
Yeah.
I brought up AI, Brandon, because I feel like Congress, where you're going, most likely, is pretty busted up right now. Like one guy has to represent 700,000 people and can't literally, like, you can represent yourself. You can't represent me. I can only represent myself effectively. You could pass a note for me, but then what? 700,000 people. You're gonna you've got to make your own decisions at some point, and we entrust you. But that system, it's getting so big, it feels like it's not sustaining.
Well, I mean, it's represented based on population, and really the job is not to represent each individual person. The job is to say, okay, this is the area of land. These are the people that I'm representing. These are the issues that they're having that aren't being put on a national stage. Like, for example, in my district, it's the biggest border district in the country. We've got border issues. We've got, water issues, water shortages. We have AI data centers that are moving in. We have, oil thefts that are happening in like the Permian Basin areas. It's my responsibility to then take those issues to the national stage to represent the broader whole of the people, not each individual person. Because, I mean, realistically, the best form of government is the one that governs most locally. So you want to take the most amount of power away from federal, give it to states down to local communities, and the ideal form of government is the individual. But in lieu of that, you have to have somebody that can represent that voice.
And if you're looking for things that affect you personally, like on that kind of level, you do have state representatives. So like you wouldn't go to Brandon, who's a federal representative. He represents a district in Washington. You can go to your local representative and talk to the people about the needs of your community on a state level.
It's about the district, not every single individual as an individual. And there's, even when it was 35,000 people, it's impossible. Come on, you think back in the day when they created the country, one guy was going to go to each and every of the 35,000 and be like, literally what you want, I will advocate for. No, sometimes there's going to be contradictions. So I agree with you in essence that it is getting pretty wild. These districts are getting so massive. But the general idea is, do you have an understanding of what your district is looking for and wants in terms of, Brandon will be going to D.C., dealing with federal policy and representing the interests of everybody in this district. And that means there's going to be challenges, and I don't mean just to say this about Brandon, but literally any member of Congress. You got 100,000 people who think raw milk should be banned. You got 100,000 people who think raw milk should be legal. What do you do? And there's no easy answers.
That's when your ethics come into play, and that's why we choose who we send, because it's up to you to break the tie.
For sure.
You say raw milk for those who want it, and tiny miniaturized American flags for everybody else.
And what is that? Fecal transplants for the women that need them in their elderly years? I was just riffing. What were you gonna say?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just got flashbanged. Sorry.
That was a bad riff, and it shouldn't go into any song ever.
Okay.
Got flashbanged.
I mean, I feel like on one element of it, you could interpret it that way. Things are getting crazy in that regard. But also on the other one, with the age of information technology and instant communication, you could say that representatives, if they actually gave a damn about representing, the people that they were responsible for, they're in the best position possible because they can instantly, from DC, talk to their constituents and ask what they need and ask what they want and ask what the issues are from the district. But that's giving a lot. That's asking a lot. That's asking the congressman to actually care about what their constituents need.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.